And this just happened, reported from Golden on Instagram, so it's a legitimate source. And Ilia Topuria, True Black Prism, 1/1 rookie, PSA 9, just sold for a little over 6 figures. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? This is now the highest sale for any UFC card that I have ever heard of that there's any evidence of online. We are looking at some big money, dude. We got stacks on stacks with this sale. I'm super excited. And with the 100,000, we can go crazy with our buys. We are getting into some real big buys with this price. So this time I'm going to give you guys 2 options. Our first one is going to be cardboard. It is going to be a card, and it's going to be a big card. It is the 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan rookie in a BGS 9.5. This is Gen Mint, dudes. This is clean, and it's his airness, who a lot would consider the greatest basketball player of all time. Also, this is just an iconic card, man. A very, very iconic trading card. And we are getting into these type of card ballparks with UFC sales. I am over the moon. We got a 6-figure card. And this card, the Michael Jordan that I'm talking about, is 96 grand. So we still have 5 grand to play with. Let's go ahead. Let's spend 2 grand on product in 2025. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to buy a 2009 Topps round 1 sealed hobby box for around 3,000. And I'm just going to hold that forever. I'm going to put that on the wall behind me and we're going to hold on to that. All right, but we're not done. Let's get a tangible item, not cards, right? So the next option is going to be a mode of transportation. And honestly, I'm not really a car guy. I got a Camry and I'm happy with that Camry. I love it. That's all I need. But I know a lot of people out there are car people. And this one's for you, car people. And just for disclosure, I don't know if this is a good car, but it's one that I found in the budget that I thought looked cool. It's a 2025 Porsche 718 Boxster. And it's 99 grand. Beautiful, dude. Look at that. So we still got like 2 grand to play with. And I'm going to spend that again on 2025 products for the rest of the year. And we could probably buy 1 or 2 boxes of each and be under that $101,000 limit. What an insane sale. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and sub. And if you want to be a next level supporter, think of joining the B.A.T crew. Thanks for watching. Okay, now let's look at some other comps for this card and how they've trended over time. And I'm just going to cut to the chase. This $100,000 sale is 17 times as expensive than any other Ilia Topuria card that has been sold. It is 17 times more expensive than any Ilia that has been sold. Now, to be fair, there's obviously no comps for the 1/1. We do have a select 1/1 here that went for $3,252, which is a pretty solid sale if you ask me. And that's a PSA 9 as well. You have another one going for about the same price, and that might actually be the exact same card. Maybe the buyer didn't pay there. But all in all, there are no comps whenever you're talking about a card that is 6 figures and is 17 times more expensive than any other Ilia card out there. And when looking at the pop report for this big sale, obviously this is a pop one. It's a 1/1, the True Black PSA 9. But interestingly enough, I did find a 2022 Ilia Topuria Black Shimmer 1/1 that was graded with PSA as well, and it is a 1/1. So to me, that's a very interesting conversation. And as a collector, what would you guys rather have? Would you rather have the True Black that came from a hobby box, PSA 9, or would you rather have a 1/1 Black Shimmer that released in the first off the line box that is a PSA 10? I mean, obviously they're both incredible cards, but I am interested to see if that Black Shimmer sells. The PSA 10, is it going to be a massive sale? I mean, I would imagine there's no way you're getting rid of that thing for less than like 75, 80 grand, right? If you're that person, knowing that the True Black 1/1 went for 100,000. And I'm happy to hear that, you know, a card went for that much. And hopefully that person with that Black Shimmer can also get paid out. But for me personally, I would rather prefer the True Black 1/1 PSA 9 over the Black Shimmer. I'm pretty sure most people would agree with that sentiment, but I bet there are people out there who love the gem mints, man, who love the 10s and are, you know, OCD about collecting, and that really adds a lot. So I wonder if there are people out there that would prefer that over the True Black 1/1. And since this card is such a mega card, we have to look at the other top UFC card sales and you know, see how much more this one is. And whenever we're looking at that, man, we're talking 20 grand more than the 1/1 Habib First Auto. You're talking 20 grand more than the Superfractor Topps Chrome. You're talking twice as much as the Habib Auto 1/1 PSA 9 from Debut Prism. I mean, just a bonkers sale, an absolutely bonkers sale. And this is, going to be one that is going to be hard to top, because you're talking about a guy in Ilia Topuria that is really on an insane run. And let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that. Where is Ilia going to rank long term? What is his long-term potential within the UFC, and what are his divisional matchups? Where do they rank all time? So for me, this is a very easy one to answer, because he has already basically cemented himself as a top 10 guy easily, in my opinion. He's had a rise similar to Conor, in that he didn't really have many title defenses, or I guess he just had one title defense, and then immediately went up and won another title. He did both super convincingly with knockouts, in such spectacular fashion with highlights, that he is on top of the world right now. And even if he were to lose his next fight, I still think he would be, a fringe top 10 guy, or maybe arguably within the top 10, just because of how he got to this point and the names that he's beaten. But when talking about long-term potential, we obviously have to speculate on the future. If we take into account that he is only 28 years old, which I forgot that he's only 28 years old. He's been, around for a long time, it seems like, and has already accomplished so much so quickly that I do think he could get a few more wins before he ends up retiring. And I know that he did say that he didn't want a long fight career. He wants to win and then leave. So we are looking at like a potential Khabib situation where he could leave undefeated, he could leave on top, and he also could leave relatively soon. And I know people have, mixed things to say when it comes to people leaving, retiring early. A lot of people didn't like that Khabib left on top, wanted to see him fight more, and they kind of almost hold that against him when it comes to legacy. But in my opinion, when it comes to legacy and card pricing, leaving on top does a lot for your legacy. It does a lot for your card pricing. Now, while you didn't necessarily max out what your legacy could have been, it's not tainted by, a bad string of losses or having fans, have the last image seeing you lose multiple times, something like that before you retire. So I do understand that maybe this could benefit his legacy and that he could retire undefeated like Khabib did. He could retire on top like Khabib did. But there will probably also be, a section of collectors, a section of the UFC fans that didn't like that he didn't maximize his legacy and wanted to see him fight more. Also, we have to speculate on, and we have to take into account that we could definitely see Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. And if we see that fight, and if Topuria wins, I think he is definitely within top 5 ever, if not arguably one of the, the best fighter of all time. You're talking about a guy that doesn't necessarily have the longevity numbers, but he does have incredible names under his belt. And if he were to beat Islam, a pound for pound great, in his own right, if he were to beat Islam, I think he would have the best UFC resume of all time in Alexander Volkanovski, one of the best featherweights of all time, in Max Holloway, one of the best featherweights of all time, in Charles Oliveira, a 4-time champion, and then in Islam Makhachev, a guy who is going up to 170 right now to fight Jack Della Maddalena. If Islam wins that at 170, then comes back down to 155 to fight Ilia, like that, it's just such a big fight for either guy. And if Ilia were to win that, you're looking at a guy that had, amazing wins in a weight class above his natural weight class. Like, how do you not say that guy is probably the best ever to do it if he gets it done? So all that to say, I think that while this pricing is speculative at 100,000, I totally understand why this price is so high. You have a guy that if he does end up beating Islam, I would put him in the top 5, if not in the top 3. And sadly, I'd have to kick Khabib out of the top 5, man. I don't want to do that. But Topuria, if he were to beat Islam, would be that good, and I think he would deserve it. And if you pair that speculation with his current popularity, which I think his Instagram is like 10 million right now or something close to that. He's like one of the most popular people in UFC history right now. And it just happens to be in a time when the sport is continuing to grow and grow. So he could continue to get even more popular and do more huge things in the sport. All right, how does this stack up for biggest sales of 2025? I mean, obviously it's the biggest sale of 2025. We have this Merab here at 16,000, which we made a video of, and I talked about. Pretty massive sale in its own right. But you're talking about a 6-figure card, dude. Obviously, this is going to be the biggest card of 2025. Now, maybe we get another big card as 2025 goes on, but I think this is probably going to be the biggest card. Also, is this card going to be featured in King of Collectibles on Netflix? It was sold by Golden Auction House, who that is their show. They run it. They talk about big cards. If it were to be featured, that would be massive for UFC cards. I mean, if you're a collector, and you watch that, you probably don't really know about UFC or buy UFC just because it's still such a small space. But if they could get through to collectors that watch that, maybe it would open their eyes, you know, like, oh, I need to check out what this UFC trading card stuff is all about. Maybe I should buy some. And if that happens, maybe we could get more big sales popping off. We could get more people in the space buying, more interest in the UFC community. So hopefully, let's cross our fingers that maybe this massive 6-figure card is featured in King of Collectibles on Netflix. Now let's talk about the Ilia Topuria True Rookie and First Auto and on-card autos. We got the True Rookie here. Obviously, it's the one that just sold. It is the 2022 Prism Ilia Topuria, and this is just a gold Prism variation. Just want to look at the card. Really nice card, man. I think this is a fun image. Definitely one of the better cards from his rookie year. So pretty sick that we have, you know, a good design, simple design, cool image for a true rookie card. And Ilia Topuria is a guy that has 2, not 1, but 2 first autos, and there are also first on-card autos. So it's kind of an interesting situation here. He has the 2024 Topps Royalties Signature Series that you see right here on screen, and he also has the 2024 Topps Royalty The Time Is Now, which is pretty awesome, man. So we have an interesting situation where first on-card auto as well as first auto with this. So pretty nice autos, and I would expect that we see some big sales from these 2 cards, man. If your true rookie is going for, your 101's going for 100,000, like what should the 101 first auto go for? Interesting thought experiment, but my answer would be a lot. My answer would be a lot. And if we look at some of his first auto sales, like surprisingly low, and I think this, you know, this was before this big card happened and big card sold, but 3,500 for an of 5 on card auto, first auto. So like pretty big buy there. We got 1,500 for an of 25. We got 1,000 for up 25. So like I would expect these first autos to continue to go up and continue to be really big sales. But definitely something that if I could find an of 5 Ilia first auto for $3,000, 3,500, I think that is a great buy. Now that we know that his true rookie is going to command, you know, $100,000 price tag. And now let's talk about some budget options. We've been talking about some massive cards, dude. What are some good Ilia Topuria cards that you can get that are relatively cheap? And me personally, I really like the 2022 Donruss rated rookie Ilia Topuria. I actually have one of these in a purple laser variation. It's of 99. I think that this is a really clean card. I really like the rated rookie badging, and also the laser looks super nice in person, man. It looks insane in person. Really cool card. Also, not going to break the bank too much. Now, obviously, this is a long time ago, so this is probably going to go up. But you're talking about, I mean, this is a of 10 for 300. You know, you got teals for hundreds, up 25. Like I want to say my purple, last time I looked at it, it's a PSA 10, and it was like $100 card. So you can definitely find some pretty good variations of these that look really good for relatively cheap. And I think it's a good budget option. The other budget option is, it's making an appearance again, dude. We always talk about the Panini Instant whenever we're talking about budget options because they are so cheap. And this is going to be the 2022 Panini Instant rated rookie. And this is of 492. So this is limited, man. But I think this is a cool image here. You got the Panini Instant. You got the rated rookie again. Donruss, old school. You got the, you know, Georgian and Spain flag around him. He's flexing, showing off those guns. I think it's a pretty good looking card, as well as this is going to be very cheap, man. And there's only been 2 recorded sales, but very cheap. You're talking about, you know, probably $10 or less card. So it would definitely be a fun card to get. Would be a rookie. Now, again, it would be a little speculative because this is a Panini Instant. And I'm not necessarily sold that the Panini Instant cards are going to hold long-term value over time, but something that you could consider and something that you could buy into relatively cheap for an Ilia Topuria rookie. If you enjoy these UFC card videos, you'll probably enjoy my channel. So check out these videos over here and subscribe for more videos just like this.